Today we're going to take a look at how you can lower your home internet bill. Now, I know you don't need home internet to be a cord cutter. You can use an antenna or DVDs, but having home internet really does open up a world of content from live TV streaming services to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, and more. So let's kind of take a look at a few ways I have found to lower my home internet bill that has really helped save my family hundreds of dollars a year. Number one is shop around. You need to look around. I recommend every year, but at least every other year, and see what other options you have in many towns. Larger cities are getting more and more options out there. Smaller cities, you still may have one, typically two though. I know in very rural areas, often you have one option, but most Americans now have at least two options. So shop around and don't discount DSL. I often hear cable subscribers say, oh, DSL is not fast enough for cord cutting. Not true for the majority of Americans. Yes, in very rural areas, that may not be true, but most Americans do have good options. My local DSL provider offers 100 down, and they're just upgrading my neighborhood to a 1 gigabyte down service in the next month or two. They got the flyers going around that it's coming. So do your research. There's kind of a speed war going out there with cable and DSL increasing their speed options. So shop around, know what you want to do, because you may be thinking, oh, I got the best possible deal. If you haven't looked around the last 6 months, you may not. So shop around. Even if you don't want to switch internet providers, especially if you're downgrading, I recommend you shop around. Often when you downgrade from a bundle to just internet, they give you the worst possible deal. Sometimes twice as much as what you would pay if you were a new customer, because they don't want you to downgrade to internet only. So they're going to make that look as unappealing as possible. To get around that is do your research. If you really do want to stay with your current internet provider, but you want to dump the bundle, know what other providers are offering. Because saying, oh, well, this company's offering this speed at this price, can you beat that? It's much more effective than can you lower that price? And be prepared to say, well, I'm going to walk away. That deal's not good enough. And watch, they'll send you to retention, and before you know it, they'll be offering you a much better deal. I was very shocked at how many people don't really do their research and look into other options. Like if you live in an AT&T DSL market, check out companies like Toast.net. They're a competitor service. I talked to a lady just this weekend who was paying ballpark figures about $70 a month for her internet. When I looked it up on Toast.net, which resells AT&T, it was $10 cheaper a month, no modem rental, no data cap. So shop around there. Not, rather that's you want to stick with AT&T, maybe one of the resellers is a better option. If you want to stick with cable, knowing what DSL is offering price-wise can help you get a better deal. But I really do recommend you take a moment and be very serious about walking away. Take a moment, think about it. Spending an hour or two on the phone could save your family hundreds of dollars a year. Is it worth that hour or two to say, you know what? Thanks Comcast, but I'm going to switch to AT&T. Or thanks AT&T, but Comcast Internet's going to give me a better deal. I'm currently paying $29.99 down for 100 down, or $29.99 a month for 100 down cable internet. When that price goes up in a year or so, you better believe I'll be taking a look at what CenturyLink and others in my neighborhood are offering. Because last time I switched to CenturyLink for a year, saved some money there, switched back to Spectrum, and I saved a ton of money getting their new customer $29.99 deal. So even if you don't want to switch, know what they have to offer. I just really want to pound that in real quick. I really cannot underestimate the power of saying, I hear your competitors offering a cheaper internet price. How much more effective that is when you call them and want a discount. Several times my cable provider has said, oh, you know what, I think we can match that offer. Or I can't match that exact offer, but I can do this, that, or the other thing. And, it's a much cheaper deal. So shop around, know what the competition is, be willing to switch. I find every year to every 2 years on average, I switch internet providers. It takes about an hour to 2 hours out of my life for a year, but it saves me hundreds of dollars. And if I could encourage cord cutters to do one thing, it would be that. Don't be afraid to switch internet providers. drop any preconceived conceptions of what DSL internet is. I became a cord cutter on DSL, and it was a very successful experience. You don't need the fastest internet package out there. And that's another point that I really want to cover real quick. Many cord cutters get talked into crazy fast speeds. If all you're doing is streaming Netflix, Hulu, Sling TV, 20 to 30 down is all you need. 25 down is the Netflix recommended 4K, and that's the most demanding. But regular HD streams of Netflix only need 5 down per stream. So on 20 down, you could do 4 simultaneous HD Netflix streams at once. Gigabyte speeds are fine and great. I love to play video games online too. But if you're just a core streaming, you don't really need it. Anything over 100 down, you're not going to see any dramatic improvement on your streaming experience. Now, if you're getting 100, if you're paying for over 100 down and you're not getting a good streaming experience on, especially when you're using Netflix, you may want to do some research, run a speed test, make sure you're actually getting the speed you're paying for. You may have to call your ISP to come out. A few years ago, I had really bad speed. It was a fraction of what I was paying for, a lot of buffering, called my ISP. After a while on the phone of dealing with a lady who clearly did not want to send a tech to my house. Once I convinced them to send somebody out to my house and look at my lines, I get a knock on the door the next day, and the lady says, "Oh, hey, I fixed your internet." I was like, "What? You haven't even come in?" She goes, "Yeah, I looked at your test results on our internal testing system, and I noticed that the node or the hub or wherever it is at the end of my street, she said the card in there was damaged. I replaced it, put a new one. You should have great internet speed again." Sure enough, she didn't even have to come in my home. She fixed it. So you may have to stay after the people on the phone, but don't let them just say, "Oh, you need to be upgraded to a faster internet speed," because it's not true. Typically they'll always try to talk you into the most expensive internet package possible because they're on commission. They get paid the more they sell you. So just kind of keep that in mind. Hopefully this has helped you save some money. If you have any tips on lowering your home internet bill, leave a comment down below. Let everybody know about it, and hopefully we can help people get the most out of their cord cutting experience and save some money on their home internet.